Hello, my Facebook friends, my YouTube friends, and my Twitch friends. How you guys doing? Mr. Wicked Shot here, back with another video. So today's video, we're going to talk I am going to be talking to specifically my white brothers and sisters and my black brothers and sisters about what I believe has been going on, what we've been doing good, what we have not been doing so good at, and how we can fight this invisible battle that the left is trying to make us believe is going on, or what we can do better without, giving into the narrative that they're trying to give. So first off, I want to speak to my white brothers and sisters first, and first off, let you guys know that to all of you out there that have been standing with us, the black community, in support against police brutality when it happens, systematic racism when it happens, discrimination when it has happened. I appreciate you guys. If no one has told you specifically or said thank you for being there, for walking with us on the street, I want to say thank you first off from my heart, because I know a lot of this stuff that's happening around here, a lot of the good people out there like yourself have not been highlighted. They're trying to put a light on the dark spot, and that's not okay. So you'll hear it from me first. That I appreciate it, and I hope you guys continue to stand up for and stand with us. And may God reward you kindly for it. All right. So this is specifically to those that are not um doing that part yet, right? That you are not brave enough to to speak up against injustice and cruelty to other races. That you just think it's okay just to be not racist. It's not okay anymore. It's not enough just to say you're not racist. You have to be anti-racist. You have to be against it. And the only way you can be against it is to speak out when it happens in your present. In your presence. I was taken aback by Mr. Logan Paul when he made that comment on his podcast. And I am not a big fan of Logan Paul, but when he spoke about this and acknowledged it, it almost brought me to tears, because I'm like, man, to hear someone from the other side finally say it, what we've been seeing, and making very obvious what's going on, I was like, because it's different when you hear it coming from us, seeing stuff that you're just going to be very dismissive towards it. But when it's coming from another person of the same race, then a lot more people pay attention to it. And what he said at the time was, he said himself why he started to speak out is because he thought to himself, after seeing everything that's going on, like, it's not okay anymore to just say he's not racist, or to just not be racist. You have to be anti-racist and speak out against it. It's the only way to be anti-racist. And he acknowledges a lot of the benefit that he has had in the past from his white privilege, specifically with getting off with stuff that his black counterpart that do similar dumb stuff really ever get off for, and most time never get off for. And he acknowledges it. A lot of people are dismissive of that type of stuff and said, "Oh, it doesn't happen." It happens. It might not happen as bad as the media tries to make it seem, because what the left side tried to do is to make it seem as if, if you get pulled over and a white person get pulled over, 9 times out of nine, or 9 times out of 10, you will get treated worse than the other side, for pretty much if both of you did the same thing. So they make it seem it worse than it is, to make you scared to even leave your house. But it happened, but it don't happen that much, and he made it pretty clear in his explanation on instances where he has benefited from that with a lot of the dumb stuff that he's done in the past, and the cops literally don't do anything. Like, for instance, a general white person can just walk the street with his gun properly, in a gun state like where I'm at, and nobody pay attention to him, nobody messes with him. It's fine. But if I go out my home right now and decide to just walk around with my gun on display, you bet yeah somebody's gonna call the cops on me. But they wouldn't for another side. So it's like, it's stuff like that, right? So it's not just to one thing. So he at least acknowledges it, that yeah, it is a thing, and that you have to acknowledge it to get to the next level. And he did that pretty well, and I appreciate him for even. You saw a couple of the protests. He was out there, standing with the black community. You know, I saw Billie Eilish came up with a post when it was really heated as well, and she very eloquently explained how Black Lives Matter stuff, what does it mean, and that she explained it good where in a way that she's saying Black Lives Matter is not seeing like the other lives don't matter. It's seeing like, hey, somebody, these people are, they're crying for help, so you help them if they're crying for help. Nobody's coming after you. She worded it pretty good, because a lot of people and a lot of hidden um groups has highlighted the Black Lives Matter and turned it into something else. So it's almost like its own party now, to fulfill their own agenda. So whatever the real reason for it at the time has now been almost snuffed out because it's been hijacked. So the way she worded it back then at the time in her post was like perfectly how I would have wanted somebody to explain, what it meant, when you see it, the Black Lives Matter. And yes, all life matter as well, but the way she explained it, it made sense. So I was appreciative of seeing not her, but there was a lot of famous white celebrities that was coming out and standing with us, and it was becoming a thing, where it's like, hey, you have to be anti-racism, against you have to be anti-racism. You can't be just silent anymore. You can't be a silent supporter. And it brought me to feeling like, okay, there's hope for humanity, and it kind of like took me down, as time went on. Where I'm like, okay, okay, there's good people out there. There's good people out there. You're not alone. And so yeah, those people out there, there are a lot of you out there, and not a lot of people have been telling you thank you, and I want to be there to tell you thank you, and like I said, for those that are not one of those that you haven't felt brave enough to speak out in the help of someone that might need a defendant, there's a lot of instances where you're probably someone next to you is being discriminated against, and you see it and you cringe on the inside. You're like, oh man, that's kind of weird. That don't do that, but you don't want to see anything because you're scared, and it's just use your privilege to help someone else. You physically don't have to do anything. You just use your mouth. You don't have to go outside and walk with a picket sign to say you're against it. Just by calling out someone for seeing some racially insensitive, that person now thinks twice about doing it again because they're like, okay, this white person next to me didn't see anything, so they must be agreeing with me. That's sometimes the way to look at it. Just your silence mean you're complicit to it. You're in with it. So, just speak out, man. Be brave, and use that privilege to help others, and we'll make it in a far better place, right? And now on to my black brothers and sisters. There's stuff we can do within ourselves, to make this place better and to do better for ourselves. First off, we have to stop talking to ourselves about ourselves in derogatory words, like using the N word and making it okay when and when not to use it. It's not okay and should never be okay. We've been using it for years, for decades, and giving ourselves pass and when to use it and say, oh, it's our word, so we are allowed to use it, but the other side isn't. That's a double standard. That's hypocritical. No side should be using it. You don't see white people going around, calling themselves crackers, or, Asian using derogatory words, or Hispanic using derogatory words to speak amongst themselves. So we shouldn't be using it. And we shouldn't be seeing, okay, like we're allowed to use it because we're black. Like it's not a good word. I don't use it. I don't like it. We shouldn't use it. We start there, respecting ourselves. If you don't respect yourself and talk about yourself in a respectful way, how are you going to expect the other side to respect you? Huh? Like we have to start there, and we need to not get played by the media anymore. The left side media trying to let us believe that our biggest detriment is systematic racism that's like holding us down like it did 50 years ago, and racist white people and police brutality. When the fact is, it's absentee fathers in the home that's been like holding us and making our community so hostile and dangerous for years now. We have to start there. I as a father know how important it is to have fathers, in the home. It makes a big difference, man. Like the presence and the respect that a father commands and has such an impact on your kids is undeniable. Like I came from a poor, dirty, devastating, crime infested community. And I know for a fact that if it wasn't for my father being around and as strong as he did and was, I wouldn't have been on the scene. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. It's because of him. You know, there I know there's a percentage of parents or kids that still turn out well, even if they don't have a father in the home, but it's not a big, it's a very low amount. So the fathers make a big, make a big difference in the home, and it's important for us as men to be there for a family, for our kids. I know it's tough a lot of time when it gets rough in a relationship. You want to turtle up and run away from the problems. But even I personally, when stuff got tough in our marriage, a lot of the times I wanted out. I wanted to do things to get it out, to get out of the relationship. And my wife was too strong. She wouldn't let it. At times she would try to use the kids to convince me to say, hey, you're gonna abandon the kids and stuff like that. And I would counter it with, we don't have to live in the same house together for me to be a good dad. That might be true, but it still won't make your kids probably be the same as if you were there. So I I stuck it out for them because I know how important it was, thinking how my dad was there for me and how different I could have been if he wasn't there for me. So we as men, we have to try to be there and stay there for our kids, man. It makes a big difference, man. A lot of the time when the kids turn out okay without the father around, it's down to the mom being strong and playing two roles, playing the mom role and the dad role, just to get it done. And it's a lot of work and it's unfair. So a lot of the stuff that's going wrong with us right now today is because of us harming ourselves, and we have to wise up and acknowledge it and try to do better within ourselves, within our own community, and stop trying to point the blame to the other side. Because yes, there's time, there's known instances where places, different places, different time in history where they were so wanting to be their own sovereign citizens or sovereign state, and it came around to bite them in the butt. There's places or cities where they didn't want anything to do with cops because they wanted to just, I guess, be free citizens or free of order, and it turned around to bite them in the butt. So sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for. There's places I know in past where they wanted to be away from a rule and order, and once they start to see how bad it is not having cops around, they try to call the cops to come back out to help them, and they're like, nope, that's what you guys wanted. So careful what you wish for. Now you have to lie in the bed. And it's just one of those things. They want you to think that the cops are just out there trying to kill you so you don't leave your home. Like you can't get a job, you can't get through school. Yeah, there's white privilege. Most white people are acknowledging it right now. There's also black privilege. There's also Asian privilege, but a lot of those privilege to us doesn't carry as big of a weight as it does on your um lifestyle as the white privilege, just as a way of life. So yeah, there is black privilege, there is Asian privilege, there's white privilege, but a lot of the media try to like highlight the white privilege as a way to make them feel bad, to put down, you know, our white brothers and sisters, like they should feel bad just for they didn't ask themselves for it, they didn't ask themselves for the privilege, so I'm not gonna, demonize them for it. What you can do is just ask them to use. Hey, if you have a privilege, just use it to help others. Just speak out. Just try to stand up for those that can't defend themselves, and that's how we'll stop this thing. Not by trying to like give in to what they're trying to feed us. Like that's all they're trying to do, my friends. That's all they're trying to do is to keep us trapped in our own brains, letting us think that we're being held back and we can't go on the world, we can't make it through school. There's affirmative action for a reason. You're not going to get held back in school. There's a lot of system in place in the workplace that prevents you from getting held back. There's still ways of going around it, that those that are really really that 1% that are really really trying to hold us back, but it's not like what they make it seem. So if we just focus on the positive and try to work together, we'll get out of this. I promise you, we'll get out of this. So my man out there, just try to, when it gets tough, man, just try to stick around and think about it. How different it will make you being around for your kids. And the difference you'll have on the community as a whole. And to all my white brothers and sisters, just continually. been with us, marching with us, and supporting us. Thank you. If you haven't heard it from anyone, I appreciate it. You guys are the ones that brought me back off that ledge, that brought me from that dark spot, seeing the amount of you coming out in drones and support, of the black community against racism, against any discrimination. It's been heartwarming, and I appreciate it. And to my black brothers and sisters, just keep the faith. We'll make it out of this, but we have to start working on ourselves. Um, the biggest thing, we're killing ourselves more than any other race is killing us. We contribute so much, detriment on ourselves that, it just makes it hard. But we have to start from within, and it will help, like a lot of things will get better. Trust me, a lot of things will get better. I'm very hopeful that it will, and I'm not as scared and as perplexed like I was a couple of months ago. You know, because that's what they wanted us to get into, that mindset of being scared and terrified and thinking the 1% out there is like 100%. You know, and if you think back to what happened in Atlanta when those cops called out, that's what they really want to look that's what they want the country to look like when, there's no law, to completely destroy the policing in America. Look at that place in Atlanta, how it looked after the cops called in. Like, I saw a video of guys just walking the street, with ARs in the hands and stuff. It was terrifying to look at. Like, yeah, there's bad cops out there, but it's not to the level that they're trying to make you believe where, oh, you should be just completely destroy the policing in America. They're more good than bad, way more good, and a lot of the goods are working hard to keep the bad out. So, and it's the same with our white brothers and sisters. A lot of them out there are working hard to out, and to support you when you need it. So we need more of that. So to you silent supporters out there, speak up, and use your privilege to help us, and we'll get out of this by not fighting fire with fire as they want us to do. We'll fight fire with water. We'll fight here with love and unity. And we've been seeing that across the world. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. And like I said, I'll try to, do whatever I can to put my message out there if I think it'll speak to someone and help them. And yeah, that's all I can say right now, man. Thank you again. And let's do better, guys. And let's not try to let these guys get in our head and keep us mentally controlled, mentally manipulated. We have to wise up and we'll start from here, and we'll get out of this. We'll get out of this in one piece and we'll get out of this together. So yeah, that's it for me today. I appreciate you guys listening. To all of you that watched my past videos and supported it, I thank you. And this is it. It was a good opportunity, a good message. And if you guys want to see more, just let me know in the comment below, and I'll think about making another one. But yeah, that's it. Mr. Wicked Shot about to sign off and let you guys know. Have a good one. God bless all of you. Peace. One love. Thank you.